guys, it's Dan and Sharon from How We Roll, right there. And we're here today to talk about 5 things that we think you guys may not know about us. You guys have been with us from the beginning. You guys that knew us pre-YouTube probably know at least most of these, do you think? But we've recently had a lot of new subscribers. So we thought it would be fun to share some stuff that we thought maybe you guys weren't aware of. Right? Are you in? Excellent. Dan, what's the first thing? It's about you. Yes. Can I tell them too? Dan is a retired police officer. He served on the Camden City Police Force for 22 years, pretty much right out of college, and around the time that we were getting married. In fact, he graduated from the police academy the night before our wedding. Yeah, so that's one kind of cool fun fact. After Dan was a cop, when he retired, he went to culinary school, and he worked as a chef in a couple of restaurants over in Philadelphia. And he worked also for a while at LaSalle in their dining halls. He was able then to get a master's in education, like basically free. He ended up, I think, taking a couple classes at University of Penn as well. And then he jumped from there right into the classroom. So Dan has had a really cool career, I say, with no prejudice at all, right? Okay, let's see, let me check our list. The next thing is about you too. It's about not eating, it's about food. Can I explain it a little? Okay, so since the accident, Dan has not been able to swallow. The same neurological damage that, keeps him in a chair, at least for now, and I don't even know how to say this right, but kind of attacked his whole neurological system. It also got the nerves here in your throat and inside your mouth that you would use normally to swallow and to speak. That's why he has trouble talking, at least for now. And he cannot eat food. He hasn't had food in literally 5 years. He has a feeding tube in his stomach, and he gets a nutritional kind of a formula through the feeding tube. He has the feeding tube with him from 4 in the afternoon all the way through the night until 9 o'clock the next morning. And that's organized that way so that we have time during the day to go places and we're not tethered, and he certainly is not tethered to the feeding pole and the little machine and all the rest of it. So we thought we might not have made that clear. One of the great things, and that I'm so proud of Dan about, is that he doesn't complain much about not eating. He can taste certain things. He can taste black coffee, which fortunately is the way he always took it, actually, right? So not as big of a change there. But anything with calories in it or any kind of fat or sugar, he can't, because there's danger of him aspirating it, by which I mean it could go down into literally through his windpipe into his lungs. And that's how pneumonia starts a lot of the time. So he still cooks for people. He enjoys seeing people eat his food. So we're working on getting him eating sooner rather than later, we hope, right? Now the next one is about both of us, but it's an interesting contrast. Can I tell them and then you can jump in? When we watch TV, I am addicted to YouTube true crime, pretty much, must be said. I have 4 or 5 channels I watch regularly, and then I pick up on other stories as I see them. Dan hates that. maybe his cop background, I'm not sure, but he likes to watch shows about crime and law and order and stuff like that, but he likes fiction. He doesn't want to see anything actually real. Is that right? Yeah. So that's a big contrast and a source of many, many discussions and arguments about what we're going to watch on TV, right? But it's become quite a difference. It's interesting, I think. No, we're not happy, joy yet. No, we've got 2 more things. You jumping the gun? A little. Oh, okay. Well, ignore that because we're not at the end yet. All right. What's the other one? I've got these written down. Okay. Dan does a lot of communicating with a laser because of what I said about the nerve damage, and you guys hear he has some trouble speaking and stuff like that. He actually communicates with a laser. We have cardboard things that are very, very rigged and kind of cheesy in the end, but we have them in every room of the house, and he can point a laser at that letter by letter and spell what he wants. Every once in a while we'll get, we understand what Dan's saying most of the time, but every once in a while there's a stumper, something he's not said before or something we're not expecting or whatever, right? So we put a laser on him. We have a couple different kinds. We have one that mounts on his glasses, and we have another one that he wears on his head, kind of like a miner, which is not too stylish. But actually, that's the one we're going to show you today. So Dan, is it okay if I put it on you? All right, move forward here. Perfect. Okay, and this, the really cool thing about this is this not assistive technology. If they called it assistive technology, it would be $100 instead of the $15 that we actually spend on these things on Amazon. They're for hobbyists for the most part. There's a white light on the front. I don't know if yeah, you can see it. So if you're doing close work or engineering or crafts, it would be handy. But on top of that is a laser. Now that you can't see, but you're going to see it in a minute. So the laser, can you find it, honey? So here, let me move the camera and show you guys. There's one of the boards, and like I said, it's extraordinarily cheesy. There you go. Nice. Here it is. Okay, and you can see Dan picking out letters. Dan, do you want to say anything right now? Can you spell wife? First letter. W. I. F. E. Perfect. Okay, so in that way, it's hard. He will say sentences using this idea, but it is very hard. It takes a while. But to get us over a rough patch where he's saying something and we can't understand him, it is perfect. And like I said, the board is very cheesy because I made it up, mainly because we couldn't find one that had the things on it that Dan was likely to say. Because there's also some phrases up there like get up, if he wants to get up in the morning, things about cold and hot and yes and no, and they make things a lot easier as well. Is it okay if I take it off, honey? Okay, that was good. And then the fifth thing, so number 5 things that you guys may not know about us. We both retired as teachers. Dan, when the accident happened, and me about a year or so later. Neither of us taught very long. Neither of us, I hadn't vested a pension yet. I had taught for about 8 years before, and Dan only 4 or 5. He got out of school after I did. I went back to Rutgers and got a teaching certificate. Dan went and got the master's degree, and his program included a teaching certificate. So we had not been teaching for a very long time at all. Prior to teaching, I had been a landscape designer. That's what I did in another life, kind of. So we were very new teachers, when everything happened. And we miss it, right? Yeah, we both miss it some. But we love being retired at the same time. Do not get me wrong on that. Right? Did you want to add anything else in? Happy, happy, joy, joy from Dan. This was a fun video to make, so thank you guys for watching it and sticking with us to the end. We would love it if you would subscribe and join us. We're coming up. We're looking at doing a couple of live streams, which we'll give you guys notice of, all of our subscribers. So that's another good reason to subscribe. And we're getting ready to go on vacation. So some of our live streams will probably be from Wildwood, New Jersey. So thank you again, and we will see you in the next one. Dollface?